Welcome back, everyone, to another All Sports Culture YouTube video. We have made it this far, Final Four now. This weekend, obviously, we got Duke, UNC, Villanova, and Kansas, which is going to be one of the best Final Fours we have seen in a long time for Blue Bloods. If you're a Kentucky fan, you're obviously upset that you're not part of this, but I'm excited. Just going to go through each matchup really quick. Duke, UNC, Villanova, Kansas. Won't be too long of a video as we have made it to the Final Four. First video I made was like 30 minutes, and I doubt this will get anywhere close to that because there's only 2 games I got to preview. But it's been a great March Madness, and I was talking to my friend about something, and I was like, you always see upsets in the first, second, in Sweet 16. You always kind of see that. And then when you dial down to the Elite Eight, Final Four, it's kind of what you expect. I don't think anyone expected UNC to get to the Final Four as an 8 seed. I had them losing in the first round, which I explained on my video. If you guys want to go check that out, my pre-bracket predictions, and that was a very bad one. Marquette got blown out, but you expected Duke to get pretty far just because of the talent they have on their team. Villanova, obviously, with Jay Wright, and then Kansas was one of the best teams in the country all season long. So that's kind of where you get that. But Duke UNC, I guess, is where we start. And I mean, never happened in a Final Four before. The best rivalry, I don't think, just in college basketball, but in all of sports. Literally a 10-minute drive between the two schools. I mean, everyone's heard that the rivalry doesn't need to be explained itself. Duke UNC, I will say, I think the line right now is 4.5 in favor of Duke. Maybe it's 5.5, give or take. And I think that's the same spread with Villanova, Kansas, but we'll get there when we talk about it. UNC has been playing unbelievable basketball. If you look at that, the St. Peter's game, they were really good. I mean, Brady Manick was electric. Armando Bacot just got every offensive rebound you can imagine. That's not going to work against Duke. I think everyone understands that just because of the size mismatch. You see guys like Paolo who can shoot the ball, who can drive the ball. It's just such a tough matchup for UNC, and we saw that especially in the first game at UNC, the 74-54 victory in favor of Duke. But we see in the second game, UNC was much better defensively. Their guys were getting to the rim much more with ease. They were shooting the ball. Caleb Love, RJ Davis, all these guys that were not good in the first game. You know, Brady Manick, I would say, was really good in the first game, second game. But those guys that weren't good in the first game were really solid in the second game. And now it's going to be tough because we've heard the expression, it's hard to beat a team twice in a year. One team's going to have to do that. And I'm taking the UNC points. I'm going to take Duke to win the game, though. Duke, it's weird because before the tournament, I thought this team was not going to go far because of how they were at the end of the year, how they were in the ACC tournament. But Coach K, I've criticized him over the past couple of years, but what he's done in this tournament, we saw in the last game against Texas Tech, I believe it was, in Arkansas, where he really utilized the 2-3 zone. And it worked effectively. Both teams that were really solid offensively. I know Texas Tech, to end the regular season, wasn't great offensively, but we really saw in the tournament how good they can be in that first and second round. And they just couldn't do anything offensively. And you saw Arkansas, a team that killed Gonzaga late down the stretch. I mean, Duke made them look like they didn't know how to play basketball. I mean, there are times you got worried as a Duke fan in that game, but for the most part, it was a very comfortable performance. So Duke looks like the best team in the country right now. Not necessarily that they'll win, but I think talent-wise, I've already talked about the type of players they have on the team. And I think against UNC, I'm going to take a Coach K, a team with the better, well-rounded roster. Hubert Davis does an exceptional job with UNC, but I'm going to take the guy who's won 5 national titles and looking for a 6 in his final year with Duke. I'm going to go with Duke in this one, but I swear it's going to be close. I think a lot of people are anticipating a Duke blowout, but I don't think that whatsoever. So I'll take Duke in the national championship. I can't press them to go there. I don't know what I just did. But yeah, that's who I pick. And then Villanova, Kansas. Probably, I think this has a potential to be a better game than Duke UNC. I know Duke UNC, you have the storyline, the rivalry, but on like an actual game-like scenario, I really don't know who's going to win this game. Justin Moore, I know, was injured in that last game with Villanova, and a lot of people automatically assume Kansas is going to win. Like in this odds checker article, I mentioned this in the TikTok, they're only given a 38% chance of upsetting Kansas. But my biggest thing is 89% of the handle is on Kansas to win. Like, I think Odds Checker does a great job of showing that, like, Villanova covers 53.6% as opposed to Kansas's 45.2. I get Justin Moore's not playing, but I'm riding the 4.5. I just think it's too good to be true. But they break this down really well in this Odds Checker article. Definitely go check it out. I'll leave a link in the link in bio or link in the description down below. Against a Houston team that was really good, beat a really solid Illinois team, beat a really good Arizona team, which we've seen all season long. Villanova's defense is what's impressed me the most. And I know, like I said, they're not deep, and Justin Moore, losing him kills the squad. But I still like this Nova team, and I think that a lot of people with the recency bias is going to go with Kansas here. And for obvious reasons, I know Abaji hasn't been good in the tournament, but this Kansas team in the second half against Miami was really dominant. I know they've had a pretty, I think people want to say cakewalk. I mean, they went through Texas Southern, Creighton. Creighton wasn't all that impressive. Providence, which I know Providence is a really solid team under Ed Cooley, but they had problems with them. And then Miami, they killed though, but that was strictly the second half. I'm not like thoroughly impressed with this Kansas squad. I'm going to go with Villanova in this game, even without Justin Moore, but I just would love to see Congo Gillespie in the national championship, leading a Jay Wright team. And Jay Wright, what an unbelievable coach this guy is. I'm taking him probably over every head coach in college basketball. Maybe there's one or two I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but he is constantly getting his teams to the national championship Final Four. He has been just a pillar as a head coach for this program. And I think that Villanova is going to beat Kansas. To give respect to Kansas, because I feel like I've been talking a lot about Villanova, Kansas, like I said, unbelievable year they've had. Remy Martin's been super solid in the tournament, has been the X factor for this team, the player we saw at Arizona State before he transferred. And I don't get it twisted. I think Bill Self's done an incredible job. And Kansas is a team that you always see as that 1, 2, 3 seed, but never really seems to make it to the Natty. And I think they have a real shot to make it to the Natty this year. But I think Villanova, it's going to be a little too tough for them. Close game, but I'll take Villanova money line, and definitely the 4.5, 5.5, whatever you're going to get. So Villanova Duke National Championship. I've thought about this for sure, because that's what I think the national championship's going to be. Two probably the best head coaches in college basketball, Coach K, Coach Jay Wright. If I had to choose, I'm probably going to go Duke just because of the talent there. And I heard a great thing from Barstool Reegs on the Barstool Benchmark pod. He said, there comes a certain time where you can go into the fundamentals of everything, but talent will overweigh anything you really put it to. So I think that talent's going to prove too much for Villanova. And I said I don't want to listen or look too much into how deep their squad is, but like it's also something you can't completely ignore. I'm definitely going to ignore it because I think that this Nova team is not bad, and I don't think it's going to affect them as much as others do. But I definitely think against a Duke team where it's probably coming into the year, we thought Duke had the potential to be the best roster in college basketball. And they certainly have proved it in the tournament. And I think they're going to prove it in the Final Four, in the national championship. So I think against Villanova, Duke will get the win and be our national champions. And I think it's unbelievable how it's like it was written for itself. A Duke UNC rematch after Hubert Davis and UNC spoiled Coach K's senior night. You know, I'm a Maryland fan, so I go back to Maryland in that 2001 where they played 4 times in the year. And I thought that was absurd. Played them twice in the regular season, ACC semifinals, and then the NCAA Final Four. It's one of the best rivalries in a particular season we've ever seen, but this definitely could outweigh it. I know they're only playing 3 times, but in Coach K's last season, you know, you kill him in UNC, then UNC kills you here, and I don't expect anything less from a great game here. So if Duke wins, that'll be absurd. If UNC spoils the party, that's definitely an upper hand they'll have on them for many years to come. But I think Duke will win against UNC, Villanova against Kansas, and Duke will win it all. So that's my Final Four predictions. I'm excited for the weekend. It's going to be a really good tournament. I'll probably make a video on my reactions to the whole tournament, the Final Four, next week. But thank you guys, as always, for the support. Enjoy the Final Four. And until next time, I'll see you later.